Welcome back to Digital Champions on BluHorn TV. I'm Mike White, and on Digital Champions, we interview companies from around the country that focus on helping people in digital marketing social strategies. Joining us today, all the way from Anaheim, California, is Robert Knop with Assist You Today Consulting. Welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So what is Assist You Today Consulting? What do you guys focus on?
Yeah, well, our big focus is we help companies avoid becoming the next Sears. And we do that by modernizing what they do from a sales and marketing perspective. So many companies are stuck in the 20th century where they're just cold calling and blast emailing, and they're seeing less and less results every day. So we help them come into the 21st century by doing more mobile, more social, more digital, make more data-driven decisions, and really focus on their customers and create customer-centric experiences.
That's funny. My wife yesterday was trying to buy a new dryer, and so she asked me to look up the phone number for Sears Outlet, and I kind of chuckled knowing that the Sears Outlet was no longer around. But and when I read your website to begin with, helping companies avoid becoming the next Sears, I missed the avoid part, and I started kind of laughing to myself again. I'm like, why would someone want to become the next Sears? But I missed a crucial word. So with your company, how does social media gain clients?
Yeah, absolutely. For us, a lot of what we do is from a B2B space, and there's no better space or no better channel, I should say, to use than LinkedIn from that perspective. You think about, at least for myself back in my last corporate job before I started this company, I would get 500 emails a day. I would get 50 phone calls a day. I wasn't able even to answer the people I needed to do my job. So if you were a vendor trying to get in front of me to sell me your products and services, a complete waste of time, because I didn't even have a chance to look at your pitch. It could be the best pitch in the world, didn't matter. I would just delete it along with the other 300 emails that I got when I walked in the door in the morning. So what social media does is its ability to cut through that noise of those 500 emails, of those 50 phone calls, to be able to get in front of those right people, to find them, to find commonalities with them so that you can develop a relationship, start to build some trust, and actually schedule appointments. I know for myself personally, if I think about LinkedIn, I'm on there probably 2, 3, 4 hours a day, and I still only get maybe 5 to 10 messages in a day. Can you remember a time when you only got 5 to 10 email messages in a day?
No, which kind of remember a time. What was your first social media channel you were on? Remember a time?
I think my first, it was a long time ago.
So,
but that's the thing.
People are inundated with all the messaging that they get. And so as you're talking about, LinkedIn strategy actually helps you really define who your core customer is that you're trying to reach and spend the time focused on engaging them.
Yeah, getting in front of those right people, getting in front of them faster, and actually having a conversation, building trust through win-win relationships. Because they haven't achieved critical mass yet on LinkedIn, it's still a fantastic opportunity to utilize a channel that you're not going to get a lot of noise and from other people, I should say.
So talk about your process with your firm on sales enablement.
Sure, and that's what we teach a lot of people to do, is to utilize tools like LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook, depending on what your business is. If you're B2B, B2C, financial services, technology, we really analyze what your company does and look at your objectives, your target audience, and figure out the best ways to go after that audience. And then from there, once we build that plan, then we teach your sales force how to do that. So it's a lot of group trainings, for example, just like this. We use a lot of video trainings, a lot of even sometimes one-to-one conversations in real time where we actually show people how to do things in the tools themselves. So we tend to do more live trainings versus on-demand trainings, because we found that the results to the actual client are much higher when you do the live trainings versus on-demand. When you do on-demand trainings, I don't know about you, but for myself, back when I was in corporate land, I used to have to do a ton of them, and I'd be multitasking the entire time. So my retention of that knowledge is relatively slim. But if I had a live training session where people were asking me interactive questions, those sessions I took a lot from, because you have to be engaged, you have to be accountable, you have to know what you're doing, so it makes a big difference.
Absolutely. Well, answer this question. In the next 5 years, digital marketing will blank.
I think it's going to be drastically different. I think, using social media as an example, again, I've already seen examples of what it's going to look like 5 to 10 years from now, where it's mostly, virtual reality instead of, looking at your phone 24/7, scrolling through your phone and pressing like, for example, on an Instagram post. That's archaic. That seems like archaic now, to be honest. Like, why would we spend our time doing that? But that's what everyone does. People spend, 2-3 hours a day globally on social media, and that's what most of it is engaging with other people. So the future of that is going to be sitting around with a group of people, like you're all sitting in the same room, but you may not have even talked to these people before, or met, I should say, these people before in your life. It could be your best friends, someone that lives in Turkey, for example, but Google Translate translates the language seamlessly in real time. So it's like your best buddy, and you're sitting in the same room, and it could be Mount Everest as your background, whatever you want it to be. But that's kind of the future of interactions between people. So when you think about that, how drastically is what we need to do from a marketing perspective going to need to change to be effective in that environment? And maybe a little bit more in the short term, I think video. For example, by the end of next year, studies have shown that a large majority of internet content is going to be video. So if you don't have a video strategy today, you're already behind the game. And then more midterm, I think about things like voice. Tools like Alexa and Siri are going to replace Google searches eventually. So who has a voice strategy at this point? Because those are going to be sponsored ads at some point. You're going to have sponsored results on Alexa. And who's got a strategy around that today? I don't think many people do, but that's really the next big frontier.
It's companies like you that help create those strategies and keep people from becoming like Sears. So thank you for joining us on BluHorn TV today. If you want to find out more about Robert's company, visit BluHorn.com, and we look forward to seeing you next time on BluHorn TV.